What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about the two brand new Doom Tower gear sets. What do we think about them? What do we feel about them? Let's get right into it. So what I want to do first is talk about these sets. Now, these sets are good. If you're not familiar with them, I'm going to briefly go over them, and I'm going to give you my feedback on why this is such a problem. They could have done so much better. They were slightly off the mark. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm going to explain why. You can see if you feel the same way I do, but we'll get there. So first we have the Bloodthirst set. This is going to be from the new Dragon type boss that was released for this rotation of the Doom Tower. What it does, it's basically an enhanced version of Lifesteal. Heals by 30% of the damage dealt, which is the same as Lifesteal gear, but it also gives all of your champions plus 12% crit rate. This is a 4-piece set, so brilliant set, really love it. Amazing for early game players, mid game players, possibly some end game players who haven't managed to pull a solid healer. Although if you do have Grush the Mangler, you don't need Lifesteal anymore if you would like to use Stalwart gear, but that's definitely a side topic here. The next set we do have from the Griffin boss from the Doom Tower, which is going to be the Guardian gear set. The wearer absorbs 10% of all of the damage dealt to allies champions, heals by 10% for every turn. Really cool set. I'm not sure why they used the word absorb for the first time. To my knowledge, in this game they could have done like a soaking thing, maybe absorb, because actually I have no idea. But we're going to talk about the synergies, why it's cool, why it's questionable, but we'll get to that. So the first thing I want to talk about is Bloodthirst. Now, for Bloodthirst being such a strong gear set, this is why I'm really disappointed in how Plarium implemented this. So as I just mentioned, this is a reward from the Doom Tower. Let's go ahead, head to normal. This gear set is literally game changing for early game players. If you can get this on your account, you are RNG assuming so far ahead in progression. However, this requires you to clear normal. The normal difficulty is only going to be giving you up to 4 to 5 star gear. Now, what is the problem with that? 4 to 5 star lifesteal is much easier to farm than 4 to 5 star Doom Tower gear on a rotation. You need certain champions to beat the Griffin. The real quality gear is going to come from hard, and by the time you're fast farming or conveniently farming, the top stage, quite difficult if you don't have the champions. You're definitely way past early game, way past mid game, so now you're getting the potential to have this 6-star amazing gear set further into the game. I really don't like how they're adding this. What I would have done personally, and I think you all will agree with me on this, they should have added this Bloodthirst set just how they have resilience and perception. Either get rid of resilience, because it's a really questionable spec as it is. I would not recommend most people trying to go for resilience outside of the early game, but if they wanted to add it to the faction war drop pool, or just let you have the option to craft it with the same materials as perception gear, since I think the two best sets should be competing with each other, I think this would have been absolutely amazing. It allows players access to this much earlier than the Doom Tower, which should have been the goal. Like I said, the fact that you can only get 4 to 5 star from the content, most players that could actually have a use for this gear, really bothers me. They should have access to that 5 to 6 star. It would skyrocket their progression, let them fly through this game even faster, and it would really capitalize on how strong the Forge is. So let me know what you think about that. That's what I personally would like to see. Do you think it's fine coming from the Griffin? There's no argument here that this is going to be an amazing set for people, especially if they are, once again, early game or mid game. It's just where they placed it I'm really not a fan of. Moving on to the Guardian set, this one's quite interesting. This is not something I would think that should be available to early and mid game players, and some people can have mixed feelings about this, because you have to remember we'll absorb 10% of all damage dealt to all allies. This is really bad on its own. So just think about this for a second. Ally protection. Most ally protection champions like Skullcrusher add something like an unkillable buff to themselves first, so they have some way of mitigating all of this intense damage incoming onto themselves. All this does is absorbs 10% of the damage and heals them by 10% after every turn, but it doesn't do anything for the initial hit. This is the problem I have with this set. However, this isn't just a terrible set based on all the information. The synergy with this can be absolutely amazing. So the first champion that came to my mind when I saw this set was in fact Sandlash Survivor. The fact that she has this passive here, when an ally drops below, she puts ally protection and puts a block damage on herself. This is crazy. So now you have ally protection, you have an increased 10% damage absorb coming onto this champion. Sandlash Survivor specifically is going to heal 10% of her health from that initial damage done to her, because the block damage is applied after that, which also is the problem with Sandlash Survivor. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed this, but you can actually one-shot Sandlash Survivor, completely making her passive useless. So hopefully a set like this can help get rid of that, although it wouldn't really help in that aspect. You would need maybe a double block something champion, ally protection, whatever you want to protect Sandlash, but really strong on her would be really strong on someone like a Skull Crusher, increasing the amount of damage he takes. Now the only other issue I have with someone like a Skull Crusher is if we go back to this gear set here, the wear absorbs 10% of all damage dealt to ally champions. This is going to be constant throughout the entire match. This is going to be good for clan boss in the sense where you have pretty much a weaker version of ally protect up all of the time. It's going to be bad because the amount of strain being put onto this champion, I'm telling you, is going to be incredible. If you put this on someone like a Skull Crusher to give your team a fighting chance of surviving more rounds, he is going to die quicker. He only has unkillable on for one of those turns. The second turn, he's going to get absolutely demolished. Where this is going to help a lot is going to be that stun on the clan boss. In arena, there's a lot of use that you can have for this in arena for sure, but like I said, champions that provide some type of Sandlash Survivor passive, someone like a Duchess, reducing the amount of damage champions take, that's where this is going to be very beneficial. This is actually also going to help a lot of Doom Tower progression. It is kind of unfortunate that this particular set drops from the Doom Tower. This would be nice to have going into the Doom Tower, but once again, I think these are really cool sets. I don't think they're in the best spot in the game, but listen, progress is progress. Hopefully they're doing the best they can. I definitely want to say that. And these are really cool sets. I'm glad they added them. They could have changed where they put them. Like I said, I cannot get over Bloodthirst. How they did a brilliant job of making this set, but they put it in such an unideal position in this game. Yes, it's going to be good, but it's not going to be as good. I guess you can have the counter argument where MurderInc players are never going to be happy with what you release. I definitely agree with that point. However, the fact that they did so well but slightly missed the mark to making this a completely perfect addition to the game is really what gets me, and it's really why I wanted to make this video and talk about these sets. As far as these sets compared to all of the other sets, I think Bloodthirst is going to be the best set at the moment. The only set that I believe is better is going to be Untouchable. That is more for endgame if you are early to mid game. Once again, really hard argument. Bloodthirst is going to be the best by far. The problem is you're probably not going to be early or mid game if you are farming 5 to 6 star gear of Bloodthirst, so you kind of have to weigh these two options out. I know to most end game players, Bloodthirst is not a good set at all because no one is using lifesteal gear anymore. The Guardian set definitely does bump up in the kind of ranking system here. So Guardian, Fatal, Untouchable, Affinity Breaker, all very strong sets for an endgame player. For someone that's early game, mid game, Fatal, Affinity Breaker can have its uses. It might be hard to pull off 4 Affinity Breaker pieces for progression. Someone like Allure and the Fire Knight will definitely shine with that gear, but Bloodthirst set once again is very good if you are okay with 4 to 5 star gear and you can actually get to the Doom Tower and farm the stages required to get the Bloodthirst gear. Alright guys, so that is going to be my video today on these 2 new gear sets. Give me your feedback, give me your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you think that while this is such a good set, both of these sets are rather good? Should they have implemented them in a different way to this game? I'm curious about your feedback. Do you feel the same way as I do? I think I'm coming from a rather logical standpoint as far as what the players really need and what they really want. So obviously give me your feedback in the comment section because I am very interested to know what you guys think and how you feel about this now that this rotation of the Doom Tower is in fact out, and they did say it's going to be revolving from now on. Alright guys, as always, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and I will see you all in my next upload.